Hello, 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 hello. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Life on a Budget with D. This is the channel where I share with you, well, my life on a budget. All right, in today's video, we'll be doing a monthly reset for the month of January. Can you believe it, you guys? We made it to 2023. This is amazing. Right now, you see on the screen that I'm doing my monthly budget. I don't necessarily need to use this sheet to do my monthly budget. I can technically use the next sheet that is going to come up on the screen for this, but I do this to identify the numbers, and I also do this to identify which inflow source that I'm going to use for a bill or expense or a portion of a bill or an expense. I like to do this because it gives me a rough draft of what I am to expect that is to come this month. This is my inflow assignment sheet. This is where I break down each inflow sources, and I give each inflow source a budget of its own, and I decipher which bill an expense or a portion of a bill and expense that it will be responsible for. And then I go into the paycheck / deposit assignment worksheet where I determine each paycheck for each inflow source and how it's going to be responsible for a bill and expense or a portion of a bill and expense. Then I go into my calendar, that is my paycheck deposit calendar, where I use the previous sheets to determine how my week is going to look for the whole entire month. Then I budget by pay week, and then I take care of my cash breakdown sheets to make sure I'm set and ready to go for each week in advance. As you can see, I am using different highlighters so I can remember what binders they are coming out of. And I break down each denomination so I can know how much cash or denominations I'm going to need for each category or sinking funds. That's what you see me doing right here. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up right here, and then I'm gonna review all my sheets to make sure that they all wrapped up and ready to go. And then I'm gonna go right into doing my pay date, due date calendar. And this is the calendar that, well, keep track of all my pay dates and due dates. I also use this calendar to keep track of my budgeting schedule to make sure that I know the routine that I'm gonna be doing to maintain my budget throughout the entire month. Voila! What do you think? I'm going to give a brief overview of my January calendar. This is my paycheck due date calendar where I keep track of my pay date and due dates. I identify my paydays. Then I identify my budget actuals. That's when I actually determine what actually happens with my money for that week. And then I do money transfer to make sure all the money that I have budgeted for go to the appropriate accounts. And then what I normally do is on Mondays, I will do my budget with me so I can know what's going to happen throughout the week. Then the money that I transferred on Saturday should come in by Tuesday, and I'm supposed to wrap up week number 1 or 2, depending on what week I'm on. And then I go to the ATM or to the bank, get the cash, do the stuff in, have Thursday and Friday off, and repeat the cycle again. The only time my schedule changes is when I get towards the end of the month, where I'm supposed to prepare for next month. This is where I budget for the month. And as I said earlier, I don't really need to have this monthly sheet right here. I can just go straight here and start budgeting for the month right here in this column, because that's where my monthly total will be at anyways, and then start budgeting for each inflow source that I'm aware of. So right here, my inflow source are right here. Inflow sources are the sources that I'm going to use throughout the month to pay for my expenses and bills. And I break down each inflow source and determine which bill or expense it will be responsible for, or what portion of a bill or expense it will be responsible for. So that's what I use this sheet for. Then I break down each individual income source, and then I budget by paycheck. I prefer to budget by paycheck like this because I get an overview of how much money I actually have for each week and determine how I'm going to play around with the numbers. When I did this earlier, I had my development over here on paycheck number 4 when I actually need it on paycheck number 1 because it's actually due on the 15th. Okay, and the reason why I chose number 1 because I had more wiggle room than on the second paycheck because my auto insurance is more expensive. So because I was able to see the overview and how much money I was going to have left over with this one sheet, I was able to budget by paycheck and deposit. I love to do it this way. This is my paycheck slash deposit assignment calendar. So what that means, I use all of these sheets that I use to assign my paycheck or deposit and put it on this calendar so I can have a monthly overview of how my bills is going to look for the week. So when you normally use the budget by paycheck worksheet that a lot of people are using in the budgeting community, you will have a zero-based budget, but you don't identify which bill or expense will be responsible, or should I say which income source or inflow source will be responsible for that bill or expense. So I'm a person who like to have an overview of how this look. I don't really need to have this calendar. I could just look over here to verify how that's going to look for the week, and I could just identify the dates that are falling under the same week and do it there, or I can just have a monthly overview on how that's going to look on this calendar spread, and then I use this calendar spread to budget for the week. And here you have it right here, you guys. I have budget by the week, where this is my budget by pay week. I don't call it budget by paycheck. The reason why I don't call it budget by paycheck is because I have multiple streams of inflows that I'm going to be using for this week. So therefore, it's not budgeting by paycheck. It is budgeting by pay week based on the money that's coming in. I am not going to go over the categories today. If you want to know, or if you want to know more about my categories, I have 10, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I should say 12. Let's say 12 categories that I budget by. And if you want me to go more in details about that, please comment below. Let me know if you want me to go a thorough detail of how I budget by pay week. So that's my budget by pay week. And then I have my cash breakdown sheet right here. And the cash breakdown sheet is for when I do my denominations to do my cash stuffing. I know how much I'm going to use. I normally break it down in 3 categories. One is for my savings. These are my 4 main savings. I call them my 4 pillars of savings. Then I have my cash envelope when I use real cash. And then I use my sinking fund when I use fake cash. I also use fake cash for my savings. These are just representing what I do into my account electronically. One more pit stop, because I don't know if you know this, but I videotape this segment throughout different days throughout the week. I don't always do everything on one day. So right now you get a brief overview of what happened last week of January. And I'm pleased to say that I had no spend days except for one. 6 spend days except for one. And the reason why I'm doing successful with this no spend days is because your girl is fasting, okay? So that means she's not taking out of anything. She's just doing a water fast. And I'm fasting for more self-control over my flesh. I don't want my flesh to have control over me. I want to have control of my flesh. So I'm disciplining my flesh so it can understand that I am the boss and it's not. So that's why I'm fasting. I'm also fasting because of spiritual reason. I want to hear from God, get closer to him, you know, get into his word and everything. But my primary reason is to control my flesh. For all those who are believers, you know that we have 3 enemies in the world, and that's the enemy himself, your flesh, and the world itself, because it is under the enemy's control. So that's why I am fasting, to control my flesh, because out of the 3 I can only control 1, and that's my body. So there you have it, folks. I love seeing this. I am in love with this I guess I should introduce this sheet. This is my daily income and expense tracker, where I should not say just daily, it's daily and weekly, because I track daily and it also gives me a weekly total. I love this sheet. I came up with the idea with this sheet because I was helping a client who needed help with her business finances, but I say, hey, I need this for my personal. It's perfect for me because I'm a person who also balances her checkbook, and I'll give you an example of that right quick. Here is my account ledgers that I use for budgeting and balancing my checkbook. What I do, I track my numbers on what I know happened in my account, verify it with my bank and what it has on the tablet or app, and make sure that it is an agreement with one another. More details about budgeting or balancing your checkbook, but I'm not going to go into it right now. And then I have this sheet right here that comes in handy, especially when I do my fund money. My fund money also have a budget. When I tell you that all my pennies have a place and all my pennies have an assignment, your girl ain't playing. I sit there and prioritize my fund money and want to determine to make sure that the money that I have for fun is actually going to things I enjoy for real, for real. So I do that, and a way that I can illustrate that here is when I do my cash breakdown. As you can see, I have others and books right here, but you don't see it here. If you have the time to pause and see, I don't have it here in any category, but it's in the category of my fund money. And I take $30 out of my fund money, leave myself with 21, and then I break down where I want that $30 to go to. So I use that for my fund money, and I just put it here in case you was wondering. All right, you guys, this is my monthly reset. I would have gone into more details, but I don't know what you want to know. I can keep rambling on, or I can just ask, what are you into? Are you trying to organize your finances and you want to have a calendar system as to how you're going to take care of your budget? Are you someone who wants to understand how I budget by inflow source and why I budget by inflow source and why I find it as a benefit? Are you a person who is familiar with the idea of budgeting by paycheck, but never seen it like this, or is curious to see if this would be more beneficial for you? Or are you just a person who like to continue to budget by paycheck, but understand that it's more for a pay period than it actually for a check itself? It's up to you. Or you're a person who wants to know how I use this to track my income and expenses for the week and for the day. Hey, I think I summed it up. So you comment below, let me know what you're into. If you're new to this channel, I thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until next time, you guys, take care. Bye-bye.